As we bring our 2025 Changing Landscapes Symposium to a close, and on behalf of the KDE Hub, we want to extend our heartfelt thanks to each of you for joining us across, many different time zones, disciplines, communities, schedules, to be part of the shared experience. And as our keynote speaker said yesterday, you are important, as is your work. Over the last 2 days, we've explored many dynamic landscapes that shape both the challenges, but also the possibilities for mental health and well-being of individuals right across Canada. In fact, it's been like a living map, one drawn through collaboration, illuminated by your stories, and informed by diverse knowledge systems and standpoints. Together, we explored what it means to co-create, or what Patricia emphasized in the technology panel. We need to co-design because we know our landscape has changed. So this means that systems that are rooted in the key concepts such as trust, inclusivity, equity, and data, they need to be responsive to the evolving needs of infants, children, youth, and families and communities right across this country. From our speakers and panelists on day one, we heard about the significance of building resiliency, partnerships, and the importance of amplifying protective factors right across childhood and adolescence, along with supporting local community knowledge. What wisdom did we collect today? A lot. We learned from Mark the need for scaling effective interventions, and most importantly, the importance of framing success as a way to shift the landscape. And I wrote down a sentence. I just loved what Mark said, and this has stayed with me for the entire day. The challenge is not about evaluation and measurements. It's about framing success. Kelly and Leslie from FACT took us from the beginning of the MHP IF program to what the future of the initiative looks like today. They shared evidence of the success of the funding projects experienced by communities from coast to coast to coast. That brings us to our two panels, which were simply exceptional in pushing us to think further about the concepts of culture and technology. And as I said earlier, they're not so different, but in fact, they share roots. And lastly, Pema, thank you. That was such a wonderful presentation to bring us to where we are right now in the program. You challenged us to think differently if we want change or foster shift by really looking deeper and to ask the question, what's in the soil? Or as you name them, what are the underlying drivers with their own beliefs and values? What lies in the soil really determines our outcomes, which loops back beautifully to Mark's comment about how do we want to envision success and how do we move forward in this new terrain. So these presentations, case examples, community examples, stories, and just conversations reflect a growing movement, and one that is grounded in health equity, informed by the social determinants of health, strengthened through relationships, and fueled by collaborations. These speakers from yesterday and today demonstrate what's possible when we invest in upstream mental health promotion. And at the heart of the gathering has been a powerful message. We are not only navigating these landscapes, we are intentionally and actively changing them. And while we cannot emphasize enough to listen, really listen, and work with the local wisdom held by communities, we can move forward after the last 2 days holding new knowledges, and that's plural, wisdom, tools, resources, and stories that will equip our work to do this better informed and together. As your host, our entire team at the KDE Hub is honored to walk alongside you. supporting that connection, which is vital, cultivating learning, and to help you grow what works. We eagerly welcome the opportunity of continuing this role with each of you. So the terrain ahead will continue to shift, but together we've charted new paths, and we are more connected, we are more curious, and we are more prepared for the journey ahead. So at this time, we respectfully invite Elder Mayengan Henry, Knowledge Keeper with the University of Waterloo, to bring our time shared together to a close. Over to you, Elder Henry.
Good afternoon. You know, I was listening to the presentation and I really felt like there is a common theme of what this world can present when we respect it in a good way. When we think about our water, the land, and everything that's in creation, it's not any different from how Indigenous people had always sought healthiness by being respectful of the land. And what the land has to offer will give us the goodwill and health that we're looking for, mentally, physically, spiritually, and emotionally. And so there's very different, not different, but there's similar themes throughout the world. And one of the themes talks about a medicine wheel that shares the balance of all those things. And if we get a chance to explore how we can benefit by adding to that spiritualness that I think helps us understand our reason for being on the earth. But if we act on our physicalness, which is our food, our sleep, and how we react to our body, and then we adjust our emotional, which is how we can share love, how we can share our thoughts, our feelings inside, and then everything else that will come around, we'll see the balance in all. And I had the pleasure yesterday of sitting with some elders from the northern communities. They came down to London to a meeting. They were a little bit bothered yesterday because of some of the political issues that are faced today. One in particular, Bill 5, that the province of Ontario just endorsed, really takes away some of the protections that Indigenous people fought for protecting the land, the water. And so when I sit with the elders and you come up to a time when there's a little bit of pain, you know, in what we see in the world, they can find a place of comfort within yourself to help you think about how to rationalize things in a good way, how to think about things even through hardship. And I think that's always good medicine, to be able to sit with the elders and let them explore an avenue that you might have walked away from because of the emotion of the moment. And when I think about how it always was that way, to sit by the fire, the one that we lit yesterday at the start of this gathering, because the stories within that fire will hold true and it'll always stay remaining warm in your heart. And so as that fire carries its role through why it was here, we let it build that knowledge base. And so as you were speaking and the presenters were speaking and you had your thoughts over the last couple of days, the fire helped keep it warm, to help you feel that strength that fire can only possess. Then it gets balanced with the water that keeps it in balance of all things. So the water and the fire combined carry forward within the messages in our heart. And so I really feel like the message is clear. To find balance in this world, we can build upon each other's teachings and learning. Because if we go back to our original, I guess, stories, our creation stories, they all say a very similar thing. They talk about how we came to this world, but we also need all of our co-tenants on the earth, the water, the fish, the plants, the animals, the air. And to be respectful of those things, we are reminded every day by the responsibilities that our father sun and our grandmother moon demonstrate when they transition each morning. And that's when we have our sunrise ceremony to welcome that beginning of a new day. So with that said, I'm going to extinguish that fire, but not in a harsh way, not just to throw water on it and just to, let it smolder. We're going to let it work its way through in its natural way. So we stop adding logs to the fire, and what it'll do, it'll kind of stay with you as you travel back home, or when you need to think about what you have learned and spoke about these last couple of days. Because when our minds are full, we need a place of balance to relax and regenerate that within ourselves. So that's what the fire will do now. Give you a chance to feel that warmth that you felt during the presentations over the last 2 days. And especially for our organizers, Colleen, Alice, and everybody who put so much work into try to build a platform that people can learn from, and our presenters bringing their wisdom. So that's what I felt with the elders yesterday. That's what I feel about you today and the strength that we have. So we'll close on a note to however you see your creator. Our creator has brought love to this world in various forms. And this month in particular, the strawberries begin to grow, our first medicines. And even the shape of that strawberry is shaped kind of like a heart to remind us about the heart medicine that it is. It'll demonstrate its ability throughout the season. Then we'll go into raspberry season. And the world basically has its natural transition to the next moon or next month. And then we get to see the world from a good perspective. So in your evening tonight, when you surround yourself around your families, your community, your pets, your plants, remind them all that the love that you have will always be stronger than the pain that exists when we see hardship in the world. And that'll make your life so much stronger by allowing yourself to feel that love that is been given to you by Creator. And the strawberries remind us of that. So next time you have a strawberry sundae, or you're just enjoying a good meal like that, think about the love that comes from the strawberries and the plants that we have. So with that said, I want to thank you for allowing me to start the fire yesterday and to transition you through this to this day. And we'll let that fire smolder and do its natural abilities. So in my language, we say miigwech or chi-miigwech, which means thank you very much. And it's an honor to have spent a little bit of time with you. And now go home and spend time with your families, your loved ones, and enjoy life in many ways. Miigwech, everybody. It was an honor to be with you.
So, Elder Henry, we are deeply grateful to you for both opening and closing our symposium in such a meaningful and, like you said, a good way. Thank you for keeping the fire going for the last 2 days. And you know what? We have felt the presence of good conversation and the generation of new ideas and new relationships. So your guidance has brought our event to a really thoughtful and respectful conclusion. So a big thank you, chi-miigwech. Thank you to all who have joined us with your energy and your presence. We look forward to when our paths might cross again. Until then, take good care of you, take good care of each other, and let's commit to continue changing those landscapes. Bye-bye.